What's up, ladies and gents? This is Casey Kid, coming at you with another Destiny video. Today we're taking a look at 6 facts from the Taken King, and you can go ahead and use this to project what you need to do in the future and what you can look forward to in the Taken King before release on September 15th. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now this video came about because earlier today I was asking a few questions on Twitter about the Taken King. I had a couple questions, and someone ended up pointing me to a Game Informer article and YouTube video that happened just over this past weekend. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to that YouTube video in my description below, so you can go ahead and take a look at it. It's about an hour long, and it's with 2 staff members of Game Informer, along with Luke Smith and another executive producer from Bungie. So pretty much the information that's in there is straight from the horse's mouth. This is information that you can take as guaranteed fact for the Taken King. And we all get a bunch of our information from things like Reddit or maybe our favorite YouTube streamers or Twitch streamers, and that's all well and good, but really nothing comes close to getting it directly from the source. So what we're seeing here is a fact. One of the things, and pretty much what prompted this entire video, was I wanted to know, when does the Taken King come out? I know it's the 15th, but is it going to release at midnight? Or is it going to be something like when The Dark Below came out and it was released later off in the day? Same with the House of Wolves. Now, my gut thought was that it was going to release later in the day, and my thought process was Bungie needs to have a tech team in place and ready to go in case anything breaks and goes bad. I had released a few games whenever I worked for some startup game companies earlier in my life, and the last thing that I knew was the programmers always needed to bug fix at the end. And it's no different between being a small startup company or a big huge company. There are always going to be bugs, and the programming team is the team that's always on highest alert and the most nervous, of course. So my thought was that it was always going to release later in the day whenever the Bungie staff was there to be able to handle any potential problems. Now, whenever I posed this question on Twitter, everybody that pretty much responded said that it was a midnight release, which I was led to believe because I listened to most of the people. Well, according to Bungie, the Taken King, as far as the specific release time, it's unknown right now. And they said they're going to release a specific time later. They said if they had released a time already, it would have changed because it's already changed multiple times already. So that leads me to initially think that it is not going to be a midnight release. But as far as the time, we don't know. Nobody knows just yet. So if you hear midnight release from anybody, it's not correct just yet because Bungie hasn't confirmed it. And if Bungie's not sure about it just yet, nobody else can be sure. So that's point number 1, just to keep in mind. We can't yet make our plans around the Taken King just yet because we don't know. Bungie doesn't know, and we don't know yet. The next big thing was people wondering what's going to happen with Etheric Light. Basically, in the Taken King, Etheric Light doesn't really have much of a place. Infusion is going to take the place of Etheric Light as far as being able to level up your weapons and everything like that. Etheric Light really isn't going to have a use. So some of us who have maybe been doing Trials of Osiris or the Prison of Elders have a whole bunch of Etheric Light just kind of stockpiled. What's going to happen with it? Well, right now, it doesn't sound like anything's going to happen with your Etheric Light on release of the Taken King. But Bungie wants you to continue keeping the Etheric Light and keep asking about it, because just like other currencies in the game, like remember when there were commendation packages, stuff like that, or the Ascendant materials or the Radiant materials, those ended up turning into something later. So there's going to be some type of currency exchange system that will take place for Etheric Light in the future. So right now, Etheric Light kind of going to be useless, but in the future you should be able to turn it in for rep or something of that nature. So just something else to keep in mind. And as far as changes go, vault space is another big one. We're getting double the vault space, as we all know, and we desperately need it. Bungie needed to double the vault space a long time ago, but they confirmed already that the reason why doubling the vault space didn't happen is because of the limitations of basically the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. There's only so many resources you can allocate towards memory in these systems, all systems really, and we were just limited by the old gen. So what Bungie said was they did the best with the memory that they could, and with their engineers, they managed to basically optimize the memory to find themselves a megabyte. 1 single megabyte of memory. And we're like, a megabyte? That's it? Well, it's good enough to double the vault space, so that's good enough for us. So thank goodness the engineers were able to optimize the engine and everything about the game, whether it be the textures or the way the models are rendered, the animations, whatever it may be, they managed to find a megabyte free, and that lets us have double the vault space. So that's a good thing, and you can kind of appreciate the process that the whole team had to go through just to find that little bit for us to help our experience, because double the vault space is going to be needed, and quite frankly, that's probably not even going to be enough. I can already anticipate having my new vault filled up. They also got to talking about the new subclasses, and we know and love them already. The Solar Titan with the hammers, Emperor Palpatine shooting out with the Warlocks, and the Hunter with the Void Bow. All very cool, looking very strong, very strong. Almost too strong? Too strong compared to our old original 6 Guardians? Well, maybe. Bungie's looking at the old original 6 Guardians, and you can probably expect some tweaks to them in the future. Luke Smith mentioned about how maybe Defender Titans might be a little underpowered in PvP. They talked about a Defender Titan popping a bubble, and then a Blade Dancer running up, stopping outside the bubble, and shooting a Razor's Edge right through the bubble to kill the Titan. Well, we can maybe look forward to seeing something better in the future for our Defender Titans. Maybe we're going to see something new in the Voidwalker to make it on par with the Stormcaller. You never know. In the future, they're definitely going to balance these subclasses so that it's not like the original 6 are completely inferior to the new brand. Obviously, the new brand has a whole year of experience to go behind as far as the game design to kind of make them the best that they can be. And we want to go ahead and see our original favorites just up on the same par. So I look forward to that a whole lot. I really do. Another popular item of contention amongst players is wondering why their favorite exotic weapons didn't get carried over into the Taken King as far as being a Year 2 variant. And the first thing that Bungie said made a whole lot of sense. They said they don't want to force players into using only one item. They want to have variety. And what this means is there are a whole bunch of new Taken King exotic weapons, and they want to make sure that there's a variety for players to use. So for instance, if there's only one new Taken King hand cannon, they don't want to force players into using that hand cannon. They want to bring over some old favorite hand cannons to make sure that there's at least a variety of options for players. So that makes a whole lot of sense to me. The other thing that makes sense is them carrying over the former PlayStation exclusives. Xbox players have never got a chance to run with the Monte Carlo, or the Hawkmoon, or the Fourth Horseman, so those seem like slam dunks to carry over into Year 2. The other thing is they mentioned guns like the Icebreaker and the Yalahorn being symptomatic of problems of the Year 1 game. Basically, punishing Nightfalls. Nightfalls where your punishment on death meant that you were going back to orbit and forfeiting maybe an hour worth of gameplay, or the Yalahorn being asymptomatic of bullet sponge bosses. All things that they hope to correct in the Taken King, and we already know that in the next patch they're already tweaking that because Nightfalls don't kick you to orbit anymore. I think in the future we're going to see more of our old Year 1 gear get carried over, but to start, I'm okay with what they're doing. I want to play with some of the new weapons. I don't need all my old weapons to come with me. I think they will in the future, and I'll be very glad when they do. But just to start off, I want to kind of play around with some of the new stuff. Finally, people wanted to know if the old raids, the Vault of Glass and Crota's End, are going to be relevant and necessary in the Taken King. The short answer is no, at least not right away. Pretty much, the old raids aren't going to have anything necessary for the Taken King. Bungie doesn't want Destiny to feel too overwhelming. They want it to kind of fit in with your normal lifestyle, and if logging in is a chore where you feel like you have hundreds and hundreds of things to do every single day, well, they don't really want that to happen, not right now. So if you enjoy the Vault of Glass, you're going to be playing it because you enjoy doing it. If you enjoy Crota's End, what's wrong with you? I'm just kidding. Anyway, guys and gals, that's some Taken King information. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel to keep updated on daily Destiny content. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, the Taken King, and I'll see you around in Destiny. Hammer lightning.